The Miami Heat just made a sneaky good signing. I'm here to break down who Dennis Smith Jr. actually is and how he is going to greatly benefit being a part of this Heat organization and how he could end up being a legitimate piece to this Heat rotation going forward, while this may open up a bit of trade opportunity for this Miami Heat team going forward. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, please do remember this video is brought to you by Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the US. And if you scroll down to the description and use the code DIGEST, NBA, when signing up using the link down in the description, you will get $20 back when you trade your first 100. Miami is currently the underdog against the Portland Trailblazers for Friday night's game, and this should be a pick'em, and it looks like it's just around that, as Miami has a 48% chance to win this game. Pretty good odds to go out and get them, as not only can you trade on game lines, but you can trade on player props and other propositions involved in this basketball game, as well as any real-life event on Kalshi, whether it's elections, sports, or even the weather. Make sure you check out Kalshi, as it's the largest prediction market. Everything is on regulated markets, so you can cash out at any time. Again, use code DIGEST, NBA, when signing up with the link down in the description to get $20 back after you trade your first 100. Now, let's get to it and break down a great signing by this Miami Heat team. I believe this opens up a lot of flexibility. You have to take into account that he was signed to the G League affiliate, the Sioux Falls Skyforce, and because of that, he's not going to be able to play every game in the NBA, and it doesn't look like that would be the case anyway. But now, with Dennis Smith Jr. being present, you have to look at this lineup with De'Vion Mitchell, Pelle Larsson, Kasparis, Drew Smith, Norman Powell, and even Jameer Young. There's a lot of guards on this team, as well as guys like Andrew Wiggins and guys like Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware and Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Nikola Jovic, who all have the ability to handle the basketball to some extent. Now, I'm not arguing they're all point guards and pass-first players, but Dennis Smith Jr. adds to a group of players with Jaquez, De'Vion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Drew Smith, and Kasparis that allows you to have a lot of flexibility at the guard positions. Drew Smith has had a considerably long career up to this point, but if you look at the bottom 3 years with New York, 2 years with Dallas, a year with Brooklyn, a year with Chicago, a year with Portland, a year with Detroit, he has been a journeyman, to say the least. And outside of his first 2 to 3 seasons in the NBA, he hasn't been all that productive, but you also have to take into account the situations he was in those organizations, and also the amount of minutes he was playing with those teams. If he was able to unlock a lot of playing time, or at least a handful of playing time, it feels like Dennis Smith would be in a great position on this Heat team, which is very complementary in the sense that this team is built around a group of complementary players. Outside of when Tyler Hero is on the floor, this Heat team is gelled. They play together very well, and if you look at last night's performance, in a win over the Sacramento Kings, you had, 6 guys with 10 or more points scored. You had another 4 or 5 guys with 15-plus points scored. There's an ability to this Heat team that doesn't revolve around relying on one specific player like Tyler Hero to do the bulk of the scoring and ball handling. If Dennis Smith was able to be plugged into this Heat team, I think it would be a good move. As currently constructed, they're a pretty good team. Outside of the points they give up per game, they're overall a above average team, and this Eastern Conference is wide open. Only a game difference between 8th place, where Miami currently sits, and obviously the 6th and 7th seeds, and then only a game and a half difference between the 5th seed, and again, only another game difference between the 4th seed, and another half game difference between the 3rd seed. If the Miami Heat were able to go on any form of winning streak over the next few months, they will be able to find themselves in the top 4, if not even better, in this Eastern Conference, as it is wide open, and Dennis Smith is going to add a level of versatility as well as another piece of depth to this guard position and this guard rotation for the Miami Heat, which may allow them to put all their chips on the young guys in Kasparis, De'Vion Mitchell, Pelle Larsson especially, and now Dennis Smith Jr., where they could be in a position to go out there and trade someone like Tyler Hero and get a lot of as much draft capital as they could back, as well as possibly more complementary guys to put them in a position not only to be competitive this year, but really go after it next season. We know how the conversation is going to go, with Giannis Antetokounmpo being at the forefront of trade conversations surrounding this Heat organization. But Tyler Hero, with Dennis Smith brought in, there's more guard depth now, allowing them to go out there and move people if need be. I think this is a great move by the Miami Heat. I don't think they're going to extend Tyler Hero, and because of that, he may be on the move here very soon, whether it's for Giannis or someone else, or just draft capital in general. I like the move. I think it's going to be a good one for this Heat team. He's going to add another level of depth, and he's going to allow this Heat team to rely on someone who's not a dominant scorer. He's someone that, yes, he averaged almost 16 points a game in his rookie year, but outside of that, his best scoring season was what, 14, 13, 12 before an immediate regression from 5 all the way down to 3 points per game. If he is able to get some form of playing time with this Heat organization as a complimentary guy coming off the bench, he'll be able to not only facilitate and handle the basketball, but also be able to finish with authority around the rim, which we've seen him do since high school. If you don't know what I'm alluding to, please go Google it. He is one of the best hoop mixtapes in a high school hoop mixtape you will ever watch. The athleticism was out of this world. He was able to jump over grown men in high school, and he has not lost any of it. If you look to his tape at NC State as well as his early stuff in the NBA, he has freakish athleticism and the ability to be a ball handling point guard who doesn't have to score the ball any. Like, he can just strictly be out there to facilitate and handle the basketball and initiate the offense and be a legitimate piece to this Heat organization. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on this move by the Miami Heat, and do you think this puts them in a position to move someone like Tyler Hero, whether it's now or later this up-and-coming offseason when June 30th does arrive, so they can go out there and move mountains to acquire someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo? You have to take into account that Dennis Smith Jr. might not be around by the time that happens if he is not extended or brought into the actual NBA roster for this Heat team, as he's currently a G League affiliate. But still, the idea remains the same. There's a lot of depth with this Heat team, and a lot of it is very, very young. And Pelle Larsson, Kasparas, and many others like we've mentioned earlier in this video. And Dennis Smith is just added to that. Not as young as some of the other guys like we mentioned, as now he's going to be 27 years of age. He's still a spring chicken. He still has a lot of basketball out in front of him if given the opportunity. I don't think he'll play much in the G League. I think he's going to be someone that is more of a platoon, versatile option coming off the bench for this Miami Heat organization on the NBA level. Again, let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on this move by the Miami Heat, and do you think Dennis Smith Jr. is going to get any playing time? And if he does, do you think he's going to be all that productive for this Heat organization? If we're getting anywhere from 5 to 10 points a game and 3 to 6 assists a game from Dennis Smith Jr., this will be considered a slam dunk of a move. And even if he's only averaging that 5 to 10 points per game, understand that if they come in loud dunks and big transition plays where he's able to throw lobs and finish lobs himself because of the athleticism he maintains, this could end up being a phenomenal move by the Miami Heat. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.